turn your radios. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that grounding inspirational, then turn your radio to the Four Corner Show. Hot and spicy topics, come enjoy the show. So let's get personal on the Four Corner Show. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show.
You gotta sit back,
relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that inspirational, then turn your radios.
I thought Mark saw me. I was like,
What are you doing?
because I was like, I think it's too bright. And I was like, well, let me get this remote. And then I'm just like, yeah. That's what I'll do. This too bright. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for joining Four Corners of Pepper Thomas, along with Mark A. Walker and Michael Upshaw. We're happy to have you guys here. We're here on usually 2 Tuesdays out of the month. And if you are just now, let me see where these people is at. Okay, so if you are on Facebook, y'all, please go over to the Hot Pepper Show, or go over to Four Corners of Pepper Thomas on YouTube. It's the number 4, and subscribe to that channel. We would appreciate your subscription. It is free. I can't even say subscription. Can you say subscription at least 5 times? Say subscription 5 times.
Go ahead, Mike. You're the brainiac. Go ahead, Mike.
Who, me?
Subscription.
Oh, that's right.
Something like that. So we thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, that's funny.
How was your weekend, Michael?
It was good. At 6:30 service, 4 o'clock in the morning to get up at 6:30 service, and just had a relaxing day, really. I mean, after getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going to service, come home and just relax and just chill. That's about it,
Okay.
One of those lazy days.
Well, glad you had a good weekend, even though you just told us one day, Sunday.
Yeah.
Like what about the weekend? The weekend's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, movies. Looked at a movie at the house, and Saturday, movie. I don't know. Yeah, but it was a relaxing weekend,
That's good. That's good. So what about you, Mark?
You know me. It's always about music, playing music. Had to be at my church, Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church in Washington, D.C.
Oh, Papa.
a.m. I got to put their name in there, Pastor Rodney Carter. And then at 6:30, I actually went over to like a family church of ours. So my wife goes there, the First Baptist of Glen Arden.
Okay.
John K. Jenkins did their communion service, just filling in for the bass player there. But yeah, it was weekend of music, learning music and playing in church.
Nice.
No relaxation or going to the movies. Maybe that might happen. Who knows?
So would you be able to relax, since you're so used to touring? Would you be able to say, you know what, I'm going to watch movies all week? Can you do that?
I was told I couldn't, because around here I'm told by several people that I don't know how to keep still. But you know what? I could, but you'd have to be out of town. I can't be home. Because when you're home, you find things to do. Oh, I got to do this.
Or they find things
for you.
House.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah. But, you just, let me get around to this. I don't know, next time I'll be able to do this, clean this up, or do this. Right. So, but when I'm away, if I have days off, I definitely go to the movies. I definitely, I got to be away from the house. I can't be here. Something just always pops up, or I get pulled into something that I really don't want to do. You know how that goes.
So when you're at home, I mean, if somebody, say, for instance, put you a plate of fried chicken, would you be able to just relax in? And...
Well, Mike, you're speaking spiritual right now. The chicken wings, we always find time for chicken wings and lamb chops.
Does the chicken talk to you?
Well, there's conversations while speaking. Sometimes the taste buds are speaking and
I'm
let me
getting ready
know
to
that I
get
need to
some
continue.
holy water over your way.
No, but no, of
You
course,
throw it at this
got to
screen
make
right
time to
there.
eat and enjoy, the meal for the day, which is
Yeah.
chicken. And I think I sent y'all something too. This lady who had been drinking, I think she had 3 Dr. Peppers a day.
Oh,
She's 104 years old, and she says, "Oh
what?
yeah, I sent it to y'all early. You got to see. I just saw that just before we went on live." I said, well, maybe I need to add Dr. Pepper to my diet. Dr. Pepper and fried chicken every day.
You better not.
She made it to 104. Who knows? I might make it to 90 doing it. Who knows?
You might have some bubble
I'm
guts.
just saying.
You might have
Hey,
some bubble guts. I'm
she's
sorry.
a living witness. She said she's
Wow,
had I think it's 2 Dr. Peppers a day. Yeah.
that's a
And the
lot of
doctors
sugar.
she said the doctor that told her that she wouldn't be healthy, she wouldn't last long. He died before she did because she's 104 and he gone.
Wow,
She
wow.
probably putting something in that Dr. Pepper.
Well, then I don't think she's taking like medications because she says nothing's wrong with her. She's 104 years old. So somebody interviewed her. I don't know how true the interview is, but I wouldn't call a lady who's 104 years old a liar. But if she got 2 Dr. Peppers and she got a case in there, hey,
Not to her
we
face.
might be onto something right here. That might be the new diet plan for some of us.
She could be senile.
Hey, it's working. She 104. That's all I'm saying. I saw the interview. She looked healthy. She ain't look like nothing was wrong with her. I said, hey, God, maybe this is my new, maybe you speaking to me for someone else. God's been known to do that.
Dr. Pepper and chicken. Ugh.
It has a doctor on it too. Dr. Pepper. Hold up.
What?
Pepper. Okay, now Pepper. That might be a holy name, the new holy name.
God might be speaking to
He
him.
might be speaking to me.
This is the Lord, Mark. Drink Dr. Pepper.
My hand is coming to your
I'm
head.
a pepper. She's
right
a pepper.
now.
He's a pepper.
Right
Would you
now.
like to be a pepper too? With some
In
chicken
the
wings.
name of Jesus.
Hey, I'm only telling you what the lady said. She's 104 years old. That's all I'm going off of. Hey,
Okay.
she's a living witness.
How was your weekend, Pepper?
Did you have a
my
Dr. Pepper this weekend? Did you have 2 of them?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I don't
Lord.
even drink Dr. Pepper. I don't. I'm not a soda person. I hadn't done sodas in probably 40 years or something. Yeah. So
Really?
I don't do soda. But no, I had a great weekend. Who said really? Somebody
Mike
said really.
Yeah, Mike said we're really.
Oh, I'm like, really? Yeah, I don't do
4
sodas.
years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 60. So I think 40 is I got it when I was in my 20s.
Oh wow.
That's a long time not to drink soda, though.
Yeah, because I had to. It was like either live or die.
Oh,
So I
okay,
was
yeah,
like,
that's different.
oh, well, I think I want to live, so I better stop drinking them sodas. So
Wow.
yeah, and they're not good for you. I figure if Coca-Cola can clean the restroom, your bathroom, and they can clean the acid off of a battery, then it probably shouldn't be in your stomach. Possibility it might not work. Yeah, so it's gonna eat up something. But yeah, so it was good. I had a cousin. My cousin came into town originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but he lives in DC. So he came to town and we had a great time, and family came over to see him, and we had food and fun and conversation and all of that. So yeah, he made it back safely. But yeah, it was a good weekend.
That's good.
Oh great. We didn't know you had family here. I didn't know you had family in the DMV.
Yeah,
Right?
they just moved there. I need to connect y'all because they just moved there a year. They've been there a year.
Okay.
He moved from Texas to there, and he works with the homeless. There's an organization there that he works with. But yeah, he's there.
Great.
So, and then I have another cousin that I need to connect him to that stays in DC. He's from DC. So yeah,
Wow.
I need to connect all y'all.
Yeah. Do they like chicken? How can 2 walk unless they agree? I'm just saying.
He does.
I'm messing with you.
He does love chicken. So y'all will get.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be all right there. Yeah. Well, great.
I'm gonna be like chicken in the house. Okay.
Now, did you play anything this weekend? Do you have to play?
I did play.
Like
I did play Sunday. Yes, I did. I did play. I've been playing every Sunday this month. It's like, and they told me Sunday, said, Sister Thomas, we sure do like it when you're here, because when you're not here, it just sounds differently. And I would look at them like, only 2 Sundays. That's what I agree to. But I've been doing 4.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I was there, so it was good. So
great.
So we thank y'all. I bet y'all like, can y'all just come on with this weekend thing? Well, how was y'all's weekend? Y'all can tell us how your weekend was. How was your weekend? Chime in the comments and let us know. But we're excited to have back again He has not worn out his welcome, which is a good thing. He laughing in the background. You ain't worn out your welcome yet. Now, when you wear out your welcome means you get no invitation back to Four Corners. Okay? When you call us and say, hey, I'd like to come on the show, we'll be like, we'll get back to you. But we haven't done that yet. No. We haven't. No. This gentleman right here needs no introduction. I'm going to just bring him on because you will know who he is when he pops in. Let's see. How can we get him in? There he is. There he is. Hello, Mr. Reggie Parker.
You got on mute.
I put him on mute. Duh.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Mr. Parker. How you doing, sir?
Mr. Parker. How you doing?
What's going on, Reggie?
I heard you saying you haven't had a soda in forever. I haven't drank soda in 14 years.
Oh wow! So see, it can be done.
Oh yeah, I don't mess with soda. It's too much sugar. You look at a Coca-Cola. It's 45 grams of sugar. That's ludicrous.
It is.
Wow. Ludicrous. That's insane.
It is.
Wow.
And people are addicted to it. And it's like you can get off, like, just once you start reading and see what it does to your body, you're like, oh man. And how you feel after you drink it, you know?
Diabetes is nothing to play with.
No, it's not.
That joint will knock you out.
Yeah. People are losing limbs and lives. So,
yeah.
It's no joke. It's no joke. So we welcome you here today. We thank you for coming back a second time.
Yes.
And
thanks for the invite.
You're welcome. Yeah. And your welcome has not been, overstayed. We enjoy having you back. We really and truly do.
I ain't messing with you this time, Pepper. You don't make me cry. I'm gonna hit that button. I'm gonna be off of here.
Okay, I will try my best. Don't say nothing that I'll be like, ooh, let me write that down right quick.
Your deep questions.
I know. I get deep, so I'll try not to be deep today.
Yeah.
So go for it, Mark.
Well, Mr. Parker, we're glad to have you back with us. I heard you had some new music coming out. But tell us what you've been doing, man. What has sparked you to do what you're doing right now in this time, this season that's going on with United States music world and everything? How you being inspired to even do anything? Because it's not really an inspirational time for many of us. What's got you going in this direction? How you're able to make the music and still stay afloat?
Y'all ask some good questions on this show. That's a great question, bro. Especially your first one right out the gate.
I gotta get mine said before Pepper comes in, because Pepper gonna, she gonna hammer you.
No, the music part is just something. People always ask me, where do I get my inspiration? Where you get your inspiration? It's my gift. It's just a gift, and I just love. I'm in a space now, Mark, where I do the music not for the money. I don't do it for attention. I do it for the love. I love creating. I love writing music. I love being able to, you're a bass player yourself, being able to create a song with just a bass line and a melody. And then you send that to the drummer, and then the drummer sends it back, and it's like, woo, this is kicking. Then you send it to the keyboardist. Now it went, phew. All that came just from because you believed in a melody and a bass line. And it all starts with confidence. And writing music keeps my sanity, keeps me going, because we all got issues that we deal with daily. And I noticed that writing music is therapeutic for me. They talk about having self-care. I was in the social work field. Self-care is mandatory, and part of me, self-care is music. And if I'm not writing it, I'm listening to it. I'll play stuff on my bass. Music is so therapeutic, man, just to sit and listen. I think people need to get back to that. Our generation, we listen to music. If you want to be honest, we made love to music. Nowadays, everybody's just so intoxicated with their cell phone. What's going on? Me and Pepper was talking off camera about, social media is just killing people, and people don't even know they're dying. And some people even dead already. You're not stimulating their mind. And Mark, I'm saying people, but let's just change that to musicians. Musicians are obsessed with social media, all for the wrong reasons. All that time you spend staring at somebody's nonsense post that you're not going to get anything from, you could be practicing your instrument. But I don't think a lot of musicians, say bass players, even know how to practice, what to practice, who to practice to. because most of their time is spent duplicating a song to put on their page just to get some more attention. Attention is a killer.
Wow. Yeah, that was a heck of an answer, sir. Because you've gone into, well, you answered my question in a way to where, wow, the musician heart has changed for the music because now it's about the attention and getting the fan base and getting the applause.
And still
Uh,
having an empty resume.
Empty resume, and honestly, the creativity isn't even being made for the music; is being made for more applause, which still takes and kills the music, which kills you because you're not even considering. Sometimes some songs are just like, I think we've talked about this before. Sometimes the bass line is just going to be a whole note because that's what helps make the song. No licks, no attention. No one's going to applaud you playing the part, but you played the right part, and that was the most important thing to make the song.
But you,
uh,
you said
to
you
what
said a
they-
key word in your sentence that we don't talk about: applause. When you and I was in our heyday in the '90s, we did nothing for applause. We did it because what you said, that's what the song needed. I created How Much You Can Bet intro because that's what the song needed. It needed the song when it was taught was boring. It was nothing to it. It didn't come the way it was recorded. I heard something. I said, that works. That's dope. And that was it. But it wasn't for applause. It wasn't for fanfare. I never knew anybody cared about that intro. It was on to the next song. Jesus is my help. Wonderful. Blah. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. There's no time for a ticker tape parade. I thought somebody was going to come along and create other intros, and nobody even remember that stuff. That's how I honestly thought. That's how little I thought of it. It was just what the song needed, and anybody that was there tell you that. Yes, I appreciated the How Much You Can Bet intro. Back in the day, I had it on my answer machine because I thought it was cool, but I didn't think it was something that would be, I don't want to say praised, but appreciated 30 something years later. I never, if you would have told me that, I would have said, you crazy. There's no way.
Well, it's a memory to that song because that song, people were in different places in their life. When they hear that song, that's the intro, and that made people think, "Wow!" I remember riding to work, hearing the intro, coming home from work, on my way to church, anywhere. I mean, at the
Right.
family's grandma's house or whatever, listening to music. That was a reminder. That actually brings back memories of where people were when I hear it. So, and once again, it was just a classic intro for the song itself because I was still listening, waiting for it to hear the song. But the bass line reminded me of what was about to happen.
Right.
So that's the
Right.
way I viewed it. And of course, you being my brother, I'm gonna always thank you and praise you for that. But the bottom line was you played what was needed for the song. So no, I thank you for that. But I think, like you said, music a lot. I'm not gonna say everybody, but there's a group of musicians who don't seem to be thinking like that right now.
You ain't going, I agree with you 100%.
And so I'll
100%.
ask you one more question. I'm gonna give you over to Pepper because I know Pepper's about to. She got that serious face on right now. Are there any musicians? And I'm like saying you don't have to name any musicians. Is there any music right now, new music that's really, really touching you and moving you the way it did back then?
No. I went on Apple Music and I listened to some jazz, that some artists that I never heard, and I heard quite a few songs that now on my playlist. I never heard of them. I guess independent artists. There's so many people out here that are dope, man, with original music that people just don't, like Pepper said earlier. They people just want you to hand everything to them. Click the link, go listen to it. It's not like that. Sometimes you got to go and dig for yourself. You got to put the phone down, just listen, chill, just relax, take a couple of deep breaths. Facebook ain't going nowhere. It's gonna be there when you finish, and just listen. But as far as artists go, nah, music to me, Mark. My good friend said something to me. He said, "Yo, we already seen the best of music. Music has already evolved. Bass playing has already evolved. The '70s, '80s, and '90s will never be touched again." And I have to say I agree with him because I'm looking at what's going on now. We can do a whole show on this. it's just I don't.
And
It's
would you say
sad.
that's because of the mindset of what's going on? And like I said, I show no shade anyway because I mean I enjoy a lot of great musicians and singers.
Hmm.
Um, but when I'm really dealing with something, I mean, like you said, we all deal with stuff, and we don't always air it out on the air. But when I'm really dealing with a spiritual battle, I do reach back. I do reach back. I'm not saying the songs today don't minister or aren't good songs because they are. There are a lot of great singers
The
and a lot of
message
great
is
moments
good.
here, and the messages are great. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And definitely there are some musical transitions and movements that I really appreciate. I really dig them as a musician
Hmm.
from the artistic side of things.
Right.
And I really, I'm all about the music. I used to be that busy kid at home. Of course, I wouldn't play it on the Richard Smallwood concert, but I'd be at
Hmm.
home playing all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because I just love to play it. But when I'm really going through, I really sound real old. I really do reach back to the old stuff. I do.
Oh yeah, bro.
Just to listen, not even to listen to musically enjoy, but listen to be healed and allowed to go away. And there are some songs there are a few songs that do that. But when I'm just like, I need a whole afternoon of just listening. When there's a whole afternoon, I just need to listen. Yeah, I reach back.
Oh, I put on Stan, and I
Yeah.
maybe 3 4 months ago. Oh, I was done, bro. Done, crying like a newborn. That song is a hymn, man. Every time I see Donnie, I'm like, bro, what were you thinking with what? What do you? That song got a lot of these old songs got power, man. And you know what got a lot of power that we forgetting about, Mark? Hymns, hymns, man. I'm putting out a single probably next month. It's my version of He's Sweet, I Know. Woo! That song, boy. I love that song. So beautiful, man.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to put it out. Whoever listens to it, whoever's blessed from it, so be it. It's so we gotta add a little twist to it. And the guy Jeff is on the keyboard solo. Oh my gosh, this guy has an incredible gift. The note choices that he's did on this solo, it's like, bro, what are you thinking about? I would have never thought to take it that way.
Mhm.
People got some amazing gifts out here. It's just the world. My mother told me before she died, she said, people are just about themselves. And when you get about just yourself, you act like you are here.
Mhm.
And the people that are really here, you act like they're here. You know, everybody's not the same when you come to being a musician. We're not equal. Get that out your mind. You got guys that are super gifted, anointed, then you got guys that are good, you got guys that are decent, and you got guys that are that's just how it is. And because you have a platform, which is your social media, a lot of people take that to heart and they get a couple of compliments, their followers grow, they get likes, and now their head grows. You know, the one thing that don't grow is that resume. So that's the resume is the truth teller. It's your phone ringer for a good gig. Because when you start, I have this thing. If you want to be on the musical scene, you got to be on the musical scene to be seen.
Mhm.
You got to be out there. That's how I got known. I was out there all the time. I was single, had no responsibilities. People see you at the nightclub. Oh, I like how you play, bro. Can you play for this? Yep. And you just keep going and going and going. Will Smith is recording. They need a bass player. Can you do it? Yep, I sure can. And that's how you do it. Just sitting on Facebook, going live and fumbling through a song. Who's calling you?
Mhm.
Well, it's strange you would say that because there was an incident where I won't even say the name of the church, but they know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't.
They were looking for a musician to fill in for a service, and was talking to the band director at the time of the church, and he was talking. We were talking. I said, "Hey, man, how did it go with the guy that you guys were looking for?" He said, "Mark, he couldn't play." I said, "What do you mean he couldn't play?" I listened to the YouTube clip. He said, "Yeah, that was the only song he could play was on YouTube."
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, but he played that hymn like he played like an old man. Like he played all the first time around he played like the record, then he embellished it. Then third time around he was like, oh my god,
Wow.
somebody send this kid to Star Search. I mean, he's killing it."
Mhm.
But when he sat down, they said they came to the church and he sat down and asked them to play something else, play another hymn, play another church song.
Mhm.
And he said, "Man, we were looking at he said him and the guy who was interviewing was looking at each other like, is this the same guy?
Mm-hmm.
Because he got exposed, and I didn't realize that. Not just not able to play in every key, because I mean you got some greats. Everybody don't play in every key, but the bottom line was, it was deceiving to hear a person play so well. And it's like Mark, he reminded me, he said, Mark, you don't know how long this guy could have been practicing the song. He could have been working on the song 6-8 months, and finally posted it, and was just so polished because we still go back and look at it from time to time. Like, yo, I would have hired him for Richard Smallwood just off that one post. But the thing was, or I should say referred, if Tony and Brian can make it. But like you said, the YouTube thing can deceive you too, because it's not always what you think.
I'm so glad you said that, man, because I try to tell these people, listen, I'm not the only one that feels the way I feel. There's a whole bunch of other people that feel the way I feel, but they just not going to say it on their page. But trust me, there's a whole slew of people, musicians, that have an opinion, and it's just a mess, man. There's no mentorship. Like you said, with this story, you said you got so many people, bass players alone, just learning one song and thinking they have arrived, and then they get on a scene like this gentleman and they get embarrassed. They get exposed. It's sad, Mark. It's really sad, honestly, man, because I know I love music. I know you do. We both have great legacies, and we want to see the next generation have one. But right now, there's no legacies being created, my brother.
Well, since we're talking about the music, I think we need to play a song by you. And I'm going to do even better. We're not going to play from the new album that was just released. You know where I'm going. I got to play this song. This is by you, featuring Kendra Jeffers.
I always think of you.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So everyone, this is Reggie Parker featuring Kendra Jeffers. And this is entitled, I Always Think of You, right here on Four Corners.
I always think of you. I'm always thinking of you. I always think of you. Whenever I close my eyes, I think of you. La la. I always think of you. I'm always thinking of you. I always think of you. Whenever I dream, I think of you. I always think of you. I'm always thinking of you. I always think of you. Whenever I close my eyes, I think of you. I always think of you. I'm always thinking of you. I always think of you. Whenever I close my eyes, think of you. I always think of you. I'm always thinking of you. I always think of you. Whenever I close my eyes, I think of you.
Nice.
I can tell you about to get up out that chair.
I love her voice. I love her voice.
Beautiful. So I have a few questions.
I'm sure you do.
I have a few observations. I'll say observations.
Okay.
So one of the observations is, what makes your bass sound different than Mark's bass? Is it all in the touch or the heaviness of the touch, or how was your sound different than his?
People ask me that all the time. I was blessed to get this bass. It's a custom bass. At the time in 1992, I started to see that I was starting to get a lot more bigger gigs and gospel, and I knew I needed a better bass. Mm-hmm. So my father, made a deal with me. I would pay half, you pay half. And I went to the spot that I always go to, Rudy's Music Shop in Manhattan, mm-hmm. Times Square area. And the guy that was doing work on my other bass, Masinu, he told me about this new brand, Pins Ashore. And I said, all right, let's do it. And he made it for me. He picked out the wood. I just picked out the color. My bass is about 12 pounds. It's very heavy wood. Mm-hmm. And that wood gives it that extra oomph. And you got that maple neck, and it gives it that crispy tone. Then you have the pickups, and you have the preamp. And I guess my style, you put all that together, and you got that special New Orleans type of gumbo that you only get from that red bass. I've been blessed with that bass. I took a chance on, and I was very different. I was the only person in gospel with a Pins Ashore. I didn't care about what other people played. I didn't care that it's playing a 5-string, 6-string. I fell in love with a 4-string, and I said, I'm gonna do this whole thing on a 4-string. And I had that bass now for about 33 years now.
Wow.
I only have one bass. I don't have a wall full of 15 basses. I got one. I've been faithful to one bass.
One. So how many times have you had to change the strings?
Oh, you change the strings. That could be every 2 weeks, every month, every 3 months, depending on what, if I'm playing on a record, I'm changing the strings. I want that crispy. I like crispy sounds and deep bottoms. So you want that, you got to definitely change the strings. Some guys like a dead sounding strings. Mark can tell you that. Everybody preferences is different.
Okay. So strings get old.
Yeah. They get old like people. Like friendships. You change the strings, you change your friends.
Okay. It's like, okay, I'm gonna remember that one. I'll be like, I'm changing my string, like friendships. Getting Crafty with It is out of New York, and she says smooth grooving, and she says that was so beautiful.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes. So the album is entitled Brooklyn because You from where?
I'm not from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. The difference.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. That's right.
Okay,
Brooklyn.
I said it properly. Okay, I had that Texas accent saying Brooklyn.
That's
I was
all
like,
right.
Brooklyn. So one thing that I noticed when you and Mark were talking about music is that the music, because hymns, love hymns, that music had heart. And it's like the music now doesn't have heart or substance. There's no, you could listen to a song and say, they were talking about praying, or
You don't feel it.
yes, you don't feel it.
You don't feel it. It's just like with the bass playing. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Everybody sounds the same bass, same tone, same cadence, same amp, same strings. You got to be different. You got to have something different. You can't follow the crowd. I didn't follow the crowd. I had my own bass. I had my own sound. When I played on Hezekiah Walker's Live in Atlanta project, when it got to my songs, everybody was saying, wait a minute, who's that on bass? That bass sounds totally different. And that's how I got people's attention. You see that people these days, musicians aren't getting your attention, unintentionally.
Yeah.
I got people's attention unintentionally without even trying. They heard my tone. They didn't see me. They heard me. And nowadays you need to do clinics, but people have to want to be taught. The Bible says, Reggie Parker don't say, study to show yourself approved. I didn't make that up. It's in there for a reason. You got to study. You want to be a preacher, you study. You want to be a bass player, you study. You want to be a lawyer, you study. And if you don't study, people are going to look at you like, bro, sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Because everybody can tell. I could tell you guys practice and think about being co-hosts and hosts of shows because you're good at it. It's certain things you see, you notice, and we could say, Pepe, I don't know if this podcast thing is her thing. Or you could say she is really good at what she does. Mark, Mike, all good at what they do because you put time into it. It ain't just about practicing a cover tune and thinking you have arrived. You ain't arrived nowhere. You ain't left yet. How you arrived and you ain't left?
Let me write that down. You ain't arrived yet because you ain't left. I got that.
So many people think they have arrived. They ain't left yet. You ain't packed. You ain't where you went. You ain't went nowhere. Oh my gosh, man. The world is Okay, let me show.
I think that I don't think that people have confidence.
Now you're talking. Now the podcast has started. There you go.
There's no confidence. Everyone is like, oh.
No, they're comparing themselves to others. My bass don't sound like Mark, so I'm not doing it. Ain't no way I'm putting out no record.
Yeah.
I used to teach self-esteem in high school. My brother could tell you better than anybody. At an early age, I just did not care what people thought about me. I have a special, I don't know what you would call it. I just don't care what you think about me. And that's why a lot of times I have 8 albums out. I have about 6 singles out. I don't care. You got to have some of that in you. Are you going to be held back by public opinion where you so fearful of opinions and what people are going to think? Who cares what people think?
Exactly. You're right.
Especially people that ain't accomplished nothing. That people have an opinion and have done nothing. You giving me advice on relationships. You ain't never been in a successful long-term relationship. You had got a podcast about relationships? Really? Really? Oh, come on, stop it.
Yeah. You're right. Thank you. See, my questions weren't that bad. You're not crying.
No, not yet.
It ain't over with yet.
That's what I know. That's how you got me last time. I didn't cry till 5 minutes left in the thing.
I know.
Uh-huh.
I did that.
I ain't messing with you, Pepper.
I'm confident. That's what that is.
Okay.
Okay, Michael?
Yeah,
quiet,
Reggie,
quiet
again,
assassin. Here we go.
nah, man. No, we're glad that you came back. It's funny. Yesterday, Dexter and I, we were, having this conversation.
Deacon
And
Moore.
yeah. And the thing about it is, I told Dexter there was a video that I saw with Sheila E. And she played on that song with Michael Jackson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said that Quincy Jones called her. Now, Quincy Jones called her and said, hey, Michael is doing all this beatbox and stuff like that. And I can't figure out what it is that he's doing. So can you come over and just bring whatever? So she said she bought all this stuff. And she said, when I got there, she said, I listened to the music and there's a sound in the song. She said, all I did was bought 2 bottles. I filled one up halfway and the other one quarter. She said, I tuned the bottles of water to the music. And that sound is in that song. And it's what made the song.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right. And
but you gotta have that in you to do that.
Exactly. And I told Dexter, I said, see, here's the problem. You have musicians or producers that you come to them with a song and they'll tell you, well, I don't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course you don't hear it because it wasn't birthed in you.
Exactly.
It was birthed in me. So I know what I hear. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has their own unique DNA. And you just got to live in that. See, so, I'm at that point too in my life. It's like, I think we're creating music for other people, or either you're trying to stay with the sound up to date, and it doesn't work that way. What makes you unique is you playing what you feel, what you hear, and it may not sound right to somebody else.
Yep.
But it feels good to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what you got to stay in that lane right there. But the thing I wanted to ask you about that came to me earlier today, you went to the college and you at Long Island University, you studied social work.
Mm-hmm.
So what area did you actually that attracted you? Was it mental health or?
Mental health. It was my wife's idea to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So very challenging for an older learner. Social work, the master's degree is not a walk in the park, my brother.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very difficult, very challenging. And I hadn't been to school in forever.
Right.
So they telling me about all this type of stuff due at midnight, AP style. And I'm like, what? What are y'all talking about? Mm-hmm. So it took me a while to get my groove. My wife kept encouraging me because I was ready to say, man, I ain't doing this. But I'm not, like my brother said, I don't give up. I don't give up. So I kept pushing.
Right.
Then I graduated. My mom passed away April, a month before graduation. I said, ain't that something? My mother not going to see this in person. Well, she wasn't anyway, but she was sick and she died from Parkinson. But so after that, I had some problems with a professor who just really didn't care that my mother passed. Some people are devils, man. So I had to deal with her and push through. And she gave me a B-. Just, like to this day, I can't let that go. Because I was at least a B+. Can you have some compassion? My mother passed. Everybody else say, we know how hard you work, you A-.
Right.
And this such and such, this, maybe a lot of people are miserable, Mike. So you gotta meet them sometimes where they are. Yes. There's a reason why they act the way they do. And you can't let them bring you down to where they are, because everybody doesn't have some sort of thing in their life where they get joy. That's the biggest problem today. So many people just have no life. They have no joy. They don't know their gift. They don't know their talent. They don't know how to spend their quiet time. They don't have no self-care. And there comes Facebook. Staring at Facebook all day, all night, can barely sleep, posting your every thought. You got to have some time for you to be able to, like you said, with Sheila E., put time into getting to that point. Mark put time in. He played for one of the greatest gospel artists to ever do it, a guy named Richard Smallwood. Maybe you heard of him.
Yeah.
He didn't play bass on, on a concert. He played on an artist's most precious thing is their records.
Right. Right.
And nowadays, one of the biggest problems is, let's stick a gospel. A lot of gospel artists aren't using the people that are the best at playing original music and making the songs the best. They're
Mm.
using guys that have been faithful, their friends, their homies, and these guys don't know how to make a song pop. You, once again, you gotta have that in you.
Right.
Another bass player could have played How Much You Can Bear. It probably would have been nice, but you would have never had that intro. You would have never had the intro for Wonderful Is Your Name, Second Chance, I Would Go, All, Jesus Is My Help. It would have been nice, but you wouldn't have had that because I
Right.
had that special gift to add to it.
Right. 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 Well, and the reason why I had brought that up as far as you going to college and getting your master's, I did some research, and I found out that there's some of these musicians, I knew about, but I didn't know that the list was this big, so I cut it down. But you have people that had mental health issues, like Charlie Parker, he's
Donny
manic
Hathaway.
depression, right? Bud Powell, schizophrenia. Charles Mingus had a major depressive disorder, but that involves like loss of pleasure or interest in activities over a long period of time.
Mhm.
Miles Davis had a mood disorder, but his was linked to sickle cell anemia.
Mm.
That's why he was going through what he was going through. Now, and then my mind just went all together, totally different place. And I ended up reading in 1 Samuel 16, 14 to 23. And I'm not going to read it, but get a chance to read that. But when you look at that scripture and you look at Saul, how God removed his spirit, but then the evil spirit went into Saul. But David started playing the harp and it cooled him out. So where I'm going to is, do you believe that music has therapeutic qualities, like for individuals struggling, with mental health disorders? And do you think that the medical community has like kind of ruled that out? Because you got to figure that was, when you look at that there in the Bible, as far as what happened with Saul, right? There's something with that. You think God was like putting something out to let you know, because music is, you can cause somebody to cry, it can make you happy, it'll make you dance.
Yep.
It affects the body. You go home, man, you'll sit in peace and quiet and just have a certain type of music on. Meditation, I mean, it has such an effect on everybody, even animals.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think that this is something that we should, as musicians, or I'm sure that there are probably musicians right now that we know of that are dealing with some stuff. I know I was dealing with some stuff. You know what I mean?
Everybody dealing with some stuff, brother.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how it goes. Mental
Right.
illness. Remember now, when you talk about social media, you talk about all people do is show you their best. You got a lot of women you ain't gonna never see them without makeup on. You got guys in a different light, you ain't gonna never see them in their natural form because people front. It's the biggest front thing on the earth is social media.
Right.
If people are actually honest, the problem with social media is people just show you their best and not their worst. And for many, their worst is a lesson that could be learned from somebody.
Wow.
And when I see you at your best, I'm not learning anything. I'm just seeing you supposedly living your best life. But I don't know what it took for you to get to that point. So, with musicians are the biggest fronters on earth. Everybody acting like they just got it going on. They in the studio, they on tour, they doing this, they doing that, and they still broke and they still hurting. And so we need a mental health clinic across the land, not just in one city, not in one just state. Everybody needs to come in that city and the state and just be honest. Stop worrying about being judged and just let it out. Just talk. It's no judgment. There's no cameras. There's no video. None of that. It's just talking. But it's hard to do. There's a lot of guys suffering from mental illness. Donny Hathaway was schizophrenic. He had serious issues. And back then, they didn't even know what it was. His mood would just change, like, all over the place. He would say he heard voices in the studio. They coming to get me. They stealing my music. And you talk about one of the greatest, not just voices ever, but one of the greatest songwriters ever. What?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna never hear that again.
Not at all.
Ever.
Not at all.
What? Oh my god. Pepper was talking about you don't feel the music no more because they don't write like that anymore. But going back to the therapy, music is very therapeutic for any situation, from babies to older people. But you gotta get people to sit and listen to it. They can't put that crack pipe down called their cell phone because they just want to keep sniffing that crack called Facebook and Instagram. You got to take that away from them. Sit and relax, my brother. I'm gonna put on some music. I just want you to just lay and just chill. And you press play. Just relax. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do that, yes, people would, start to relax a bit. But people are so uptight. If you uptight and you really got a lot going on, guys, the worst place for you to be is social media.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have your life at a decent level before you even get on social media. But most people's lives are in shambles and they go straight to social media. Do you know, after going to school, how different my lenses are for people? I see people posting stuff and they just crying for help. I see women get on here. One day they have on some clothes. The next day they on there like this. Hey guys, they showing you more cleavage, more cleavage. You know why? Because they're trying to get more attention. I see guys posting stuff. I'm like, brother, what are you? Take this down. Then you got people screaming, I'm not good. I'm thinking about giving up. Listen, Facebook is not a therapist. Go see a professional therapist where you can talk to them. People on your Facebook page don't care about you. They on there for a different reason. They're not there for your problem. They unexperienced, uneducated. There's nothing they can tell you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it all the time, mainly from men. Musicians, I give up. You ever felt like giving up? I can't no more. And then that's the bait for you to come into the set. Oh, why? What's wrong? You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, go see a therapist, man. Seriously.
Wow.
So someone from New York says, I love that. I got to get back to my music in a relaxed state of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to give social media a break. Stop staring. Start listening. And Mark, a lot of problems with our musicians, my brother. They don't listen. When we came up, we listened. I used to go to my boy's house and we would have listening sessions. We would study the Hawkins projects. Anything that was new, we would listen to the whole record. And I would listen to the bass. What's the bass doing? What's the bass doing? We always listening, learning. That's not happening anymore. And you could tell because, like Pepper, there's no magic, there's no feeling in it. And people say, "Who's your bass player you follow these days?" Like nobody, nobody, nobody.
Okay, Keith said, come on, Keith. Come on, Keith.
You're crazy, man. No, I get it.
I don't feel it, Mark. Everybody's doing runs, hitting low Fs. I'm like, what is this effect? What is this obsession with low notes? If y'all was obsessed with playing
to get attention, it's to get attention, man. You know that. Right. It's to get attention.
But if they was that obsessed with low notes as they are, if they were obsessed with playing grooves as they are with low notes, can you imagine? The whole world would be dancing.
You know that, man. You know how it goes. I also feel like the insecurity of the individual comes out in conversation and how they play their instrument as well, because then you show that you're not a team player. So the music is already going to fail because you're not coming in with the right attitude. It's a spiritual thing, like Mike was saying. And that's actually one of the scriptures that I talk about in my seminar when I talk about the spirit overtaking Saul. And I said, David played and three things happened simultaneously. Evil spirits left, he was strengthened, and he was made well without any belief. It's the only gift that works without belief. When you hear a preacher preach, you have to believe what he says, hear and believe what he says for it to work. But and as Bishop Michael Blue said years ago, he said, once you start singing, Pepper, and I pat my foot, you've entered my heart without my permission. And I got from that, well, basically you saying you doing something God don't even do, because God stands at the door and he knocks. And if you open the door, he'll come. And but if you start singing, Reggie start playing, Mike start playing or singing, it's like you're doing something God don't even do. That's great. But the problem is a lot of us should say, and I say a lot of us because it's still part of the music, is that people want attention and they want glory on every song. I mean, I had to share that with a singer one time who was talking about a musician. And they said, "Well, what's the problem? How come no one wants to play with them?" And I said, "Well, you can't solo on every song." And she didn't get it because this was a professional talker. I was talking to a professional. I won't say who they are because you all definitely would know who they were. I said, "Can you imagine you singing the song and somebody ad-libbing between everything you say throughout the whole night on every song?" She said, "Oh my God, that would be annoying." I said, "That's what it's like playing with this musician. He's annoying because he's soloing throughout the whole song on every song." Wow. She said, "Oh, I see what you're saying." I said, "Yeah." So every word you say, ad-lib wise, for 10 songs, you'll be sick, and you wouldn't even want to work with this person. So that's why nobody in your band wants to work with this musician because he don't know how to play.
When you keep playing cover tunes and keep posting it, you're not focusing on your musicianship. And then when you turn that track off in the background and someone has to play by themselves, they crash and burn. When I played somebody asked me to play at their father's funeral. So when somebody asks you to play bass at someone's funeral, you can't get up there just slapping, going crazy. You got to have something in your repertoire. So you get up there, and I played If It Had Not Been for the Lord on My Side. If it had not been for the Lord on my side. Y'all don't remember that?
Yes.
Tell me where would I be? They went crazy, man. They went crazy. It was beautiful because you don't hear those songs no more.
Right.
But to be able to do that on a bass, that's a gift. You know, that's a gift. People ain't gonna think about a bass and somebody playing that on a bass. That's how I learned. I love BB King, so I used to always want to play lead stuff, watching him and Jonathan Dubose and other people. So that's how I got that type of style. That's how I was able to write. I always think of you because I know how to write melodies. If you know how to write a melody, boy, you got a gift. That's a beautiful thing. And I hear melodies all the time. They used to call me the Melody King. So yeah, my mother always used to tell me, "You got a special gift. Nobody plays like you." I said, "What? What are you talking about, Mom?" And after a while, I started to realize what she was talking about. It was just the gift part, that meaning that you could do stuff that others can't. And now, I think about that all the time. And I said, "Wow, that's what she was talking about."
But you studied and you listened. You studied and listened before you got to that point.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, hard.
You put your time in. You put your time in for sure.
I put my time in. You better say that again. I put my time in. I feel I'm getting what I earned. And I think God saw my faithfulness to this bass. And I really believe he blessed me and gave me a couple of extra things. He said, "This guy ain't gonna stop." Like, nah, I'm not gonna stop, bro. I'm not. I love it.
Well, speaking of stopping, you got this song on this new album entitled Brooklyn. And the song is You Can't Stop Me. Now, when I listen to this song reminds me, if your bass could sing, this is what it would sound like. It's like, how are you playing? And it sounds like the bass is singing the song itself.
It's all like I said, listening to BB King. He plays lead guitar. You listen to BB play Thriller's Gone, he's singing, he's talking. You listen to Jonathan Dubose, who Mark Walker knows, singing. I studied vocals. I've studied Marvin Winans. I studied Donny Hathaway. I studied Stevie Wonder, their movements, and I try to do that, emulate that on the bass when I play. And I appreciate you noticing that, because you don't really hear that a lot these days. And I love doing that. I just love it. It's so refreshing to me.
So let's let them hear it. This is new music by Reggie Parker entitled "You Can't Stop Me."
Can't stop me.
You can't stop me.
Nope.
You can't stop me. Check it out.
Ooh.
That's bad.
Thank you.
Yes,
That
sir.
is
Yes, sir. That's incredible. Love that. Love that.
Mark over there doing this like in the church house.
Yeah, I know what he's saying. I'm feeling it.
Got that. Got that.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah. It's
Nice.
all you. All you.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
you, man.
Yeah.
I was going to add lyrics, but I said, I'm just going to talk. They'll figure out what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just crazy how you get to create this stuff, man. It's really amazing.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah.
Now, did you hear that riding in the car? Or was you at home when you heard that?
How I created it?
Yeah, yeah. Where were you at? Where were you? Were you
Right
riding the
here.
car? Oh, okay, okay.
Right.
That just sounds like one of them joints that just pop up in your head while you driving down through the city or something. Like, yo, that sounds like it's
No,
moving. Yeah,
I
okay.
came up
Okay,
with
great.
the boo doo boo boo doo. Just kind of, I said, oh, that's kind of dope. How can I add to it? And I just kept adding. Then said, got to have a melody. And I came up, I said, ooh, that's dope. I'm like a little kid sometimes with my own music because I say, oh, that's whack. Oh, no, that's hot. Oh, I need to work on it a little bit. I can produce myself because I know how good I can be. Some people don't know how to produce themselves. They don't know how to get the best out of themselves. My musical bar is so high that I would never ever accept mediocrity. Because sometimes I hear it back and say, I'm behind the beat. I'm in front of the beat. Oh, come on, bro. What is I'll do a whole take and think it's dope. And I listen back and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm behind the beat. I messed up. I gotta do all of this stuff all over again. Like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, but yeah, you can't stop me. It's personal.
Yeah.
Because you got to think like that in life. You got haters, you got people that doubt you. Doesn't matter. You can't stop me. You wasting your time.
So who was playing the organ?
Jeremy Jeffers, that's Kendra Jeffers' husband.
Yeah, I noticed that he wasn't too loud. He was just right to let you do your thing, and it was like, yeah, I like that.
That's just the thing about when you do your own record. You still got to have the ear for production. You got to know when stuff is not balanced or it's too loud. Trust me, if you had him on here, he'll have some stories about me for you. Because I'm a pain in the butt to work with. Like, bro, whose record is this? He says yours. And I said, so why you got me lower than every instrument? Turn the bass up. If you heard the original mix of this, it wasn't like this.
It wasn't like that.
No, but you should really try to get Jeremy on here. Jeremy is blind, and I'm gonna tell you a quick story. On the song "Our Love Is Real," that's on the new project Brooklyn. Jeremy played the keyboard. Jeremy played the drums. And Jeremy played the trumpet. Jeremy mixed the song. Jeremy mastered the whole project. Jeremy is incredible. That's my guy. So I would suggest that you get him on here. It would be an extremely very interesting interview just because of his blindness. Just he doesn't get enough love out here, and he stuck by my side when a lot of musicians kind of gave me the finger, and I love him. I can get emotional about that because when I was making calls for people to play on my record, people was just giving me excuses because I guess that's when I was kind of out there in social media saying my opinion about stuff. Nobody wanted to be associated with Reggie Parker, and I noticed that. I said, okay, I got you. God still got me though. So y'all can't mess with that man upstairs. He's always going to provide somebody for you to get out what God wants you to get out. And Jeremy stood by my side. So I would strongly suggest that would be a beautiful interview for him to be interviewed by you guys. Just how he's able to just mix and how he played without seeing. And he's incredible.
Well, since you mentioned the song, I was going to play the song. So now I think they need to hear the song because now you have to put together with this gentleman who is blind and he's playing all these instruments. Okay. So
our love is real for all you lovers out there.
Here it is. Honest. That is
Yeah, he sounded
beautiful.
great. Yeah, beautiful song.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
So
you.
he played the drums, he played
Keys,
keys,
trumpet,
trumpet.
and he mixed it and mastered the whole project. Me and Jeremy he's on about four of my albums. Killer.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait till you hear the solo we did on His Sweet I Know. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's
Well,
ridiculous.
we thank you so much for coming on Four Corners.
Thank you for having me. It's beautiful. I love talking to y'all. It got so much wisdom and great questions.
I know we have heart.
And I've been on some podcasts and I'm like, bro, what are you where you get these questions from?
What color
you
jacket do you have on? Do you have a red jacket on? You're like, what
It's
does
a
it look
sweater.
like that on? It's a sweater. Well,
Yeah.
that's what the interviewer is telling you. They're like, you got a red jacket on? You're like,
Got my name on it. You see my name?
Yeah, see, saw the initials initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back of it says love. It's a
love.
Ralph Lauren joint.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, I don't have any of
You
those.
bought it for me, Pepper. You don't remember?
Oh, that's what that. Oh, it should have said Pepper. Instead, it said Parker.
Parker.
Okay.
I got it right.
I gave it to you because it said Parker and didn't say Pepper. I said, you know what? Let me just give it to you. They messed up on the name.
Y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reggie, before you go, one last question.
Uh-huh.
What advice would you give any aspiring bass players looking to make a mark in the industry?
Well, that's a great question. The thing is, you never know when you're making a mark. You can't do it to make a mark. You got to do what's in your heart first. You got to start there. Got to do it for the love. And I would make sure that I studied, make sure I had a mentor to teach me the right from the wrong from the right, and get on me when I need to be get on and tell me the truth and steer me in the right direction. That's missing today in our young musicians. It's just like the same thing with a lot of fathers are missing in their lives. They don't have mentors for music. They don't have mentors for life. And, I see my son now, he's 19 and, I'm thankful to, be alive and be in his life because I can see how much he needs it. And, guys at his age, a lot of guys 19 don't have that. And we able to have a relationship where he loves LeBron James. I love Michael Jordan. We just go back and forth. Whatever it is for you that brings you together, it's great to just come together and just have that bond. I think a lot of musicians need love. They need to be told the truth. But Mark could tell you, as a musician, a lot of musicians can't handle the truth, as Jack Nicholson once said. And that's the truth is what will set you free. The truth is water. And a lot of people aren't getting the truth and they're not growing because they're not being told the truth. You got to be watered, you got to have the truth. So our parents raised us and they told us the truth. When we did wrong, they punished us. As Christians, when we do wrong, God punishes us in his own way. And we can't get away from that discipline part and being told the truth. We've gotten away from that because you got so many people that are sensitive. You can't live a prosperous life and never be told the truth. Are you kidding me? How you gonna grow? Mark, you gonna mean to tell me all these bass players playing busy and nobody can say, yo, bro, you sound a hot mess. How you gonna grow? You just gonna keep playing fast. And your resume gonna be like the back of this envelope. Oh, that got something on it.
Get one
Be
of
like this. Empty. Nothing on it. Whose fault is that? You can't keep blaming other people. Sometimes you got to point the finger at that in the mirror.
Totally agree.
I'll stop because I'll be in here another hour. I talk a lot, man. I gotta just sometimes it's crazy. I talk a lot. I love to talk. I get the gift of gab from my dad. We are our parents. That could be a good thing or it could be a tragedy.
You're right. You're right. So is your wife involved in music?
No.
Okay. I was just curious. I was like, is she a musician, a singer, or are you like?
No. She's a very wise individual that has given me a lot of great wisdom. When we got married in 1998, I was still with Love Fellowship, and she was saying, you know what? You have achieved everything that you're going to achieve with this choir. It's time for you to move on and do something else. I looked at her, said, you're probably right. I started thinking about all the songs that I've done already. I said, yeah, I don't see it getting much better than this. So I walked away. I left. That was it. Never came back. I was gone. I opened up my own photography business for 5 years. I was off the scene. Nobody knew where I was. That's how I knew I don't care about fanfare and attention. I left music. Nobody knew where I was. They was on the road. I said, yo, what happened to Reggie Parker? Like, he's doing some other stuff with photography. It was beautiful, man. So I know how to walk away from the limelight. I've done it before.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people nowadays depend on attention to feed them, and that's a bad thing. If you know you good, you good. Mark don't walk around saying, hey, you know, I played on some of Richard Smallwood's greatest hits. Of course not. But he knows what he has accomplished. Just knowing what you have accomplished, that's peace right there. A lot of people don't have peace. A lot of musicians these days don't have peace because they trying to they are pushing in what's the word I'm looking for? They compare themselves to others. That's the worst thing you can ever do. I mean, Mark played for Richard Smallwood. Why I'm not playing for somebody right now? I get the frustration. Everybody's journey is different. Especially nowadays, Mark. There's really no popping choir or group for you to play for like we had. We were blessed, brother, to come up when we did. Because right now, it's just, you know, they're getting away from live bass on records. They're playing key bass. And if you want to be seen, you got to really go on a tour or you got to just keep putting content up. That's not how you get seen, man. And it's rough out here for these guys. I definitely feel for them when it comes to that.
Yeah. Because they're looking for that. They're looking for that part to be a part of their resume. And a lot of times I've heard musicians tell me for years, hey, man, I just want to go out and do a tour. Sometimes I just want to do this. And a few guys have come back and thanked me. I said, hey, man, that same money you making here at home is the same money that you'll be making out on the road. And the money's the same. So you jeopardize yourself to be in a situation that's always great because all of our road stories aren't great stories. You know, because being Levites, we got to protect the house, and can't tell you how whack some of the people we work with who were struggling in their own lives. Yeah, because they were still dealing with stuff, you know, whether they an alcoholic, drug dealer, or a drug user, or just not good having integrity and taking care of their people or keeping their word.
Just keep in mind, alcoholism is a disease.
Yeah,
it's a sickness, and it ain't. I was telling my boy, we ain't naming names, but listen, if you have an alcohol substance problem, you're not getting over it no time soon. It's a lifelong fight because it's a brain disorder. Your brain's always telling you to drink. And I got stories about people when I was doing group therapy as a therapist. It ain't easy. And the last thing, Mike, what I would tell musicians, get a job. Go back to school, take a city test. Music ain't what it was, and it ain't gonna never be that way again. I'm just making up a number. There's 10,000 tours each year, and you got how many? 15 million musicians? You do the math.
Wow.
Where does that leave the other millions? They don't have nothing to play for.
Right.
Get a job. Seriously.
Wow.
Go back to school. Always have something to fall back on. And if you can, get you a mate. Life is a whole lot easier when it's two people. I would tell you that. I know it's not easy. I get it. I ain't getting into people's personal lives. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Life is a whole lot easier with two people, unless that one person is just making all this crazy money. But it's not just the money part. It's just the camaraderie. It's the companionship. It's the kind words pushing you. You know, black men, sometimes we need that. You need to be pushed. You need to be told the truth. You need that in a pleasant way, not in a rough way. You need that voice, man. It's nothing like a lady's voice from your mother to your wife. That sound is different, man. It's really different.
Mm.
I talk a lot. I know. I'm gonna stop.
No, we listen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Reggie.
Yeah, man. Loneliness is a major problem these days.
Mm.
A major problem. You don't believe me? Look it up. A lot of people die. A lot of men, Mark and Mike, and with COVID, a lot of men died home alone.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I know quite a few home alone. There was nobody there when they died. They were found by their daughters, by other family members, no mate, nothing.
Mm.
A lot of people died like that. And I don't know, man. I had somebody tell me they never getting, not just married, they don't want kids. They don't even want a girlfriend. I said, bro, you're not talking right now, man. We'll talk later because right now there's a reason why you saying that.
Mm.
There's a reason why you smoke weed every time I see you. You running from something, my brother.
Mm.
You got to figure out what it is because
Right.
you got to deal with it. Go to therapy and deal with it. Weed ain't doing nothing but just taking your mind away from it only for a moment.
Right.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? This is why we need us to get together. Churches need to get together and talk. It can't just be coming together on Sunday, shouting, singing, and hearing the preacher and then going home. That's cool. But during the week, we need to get there and just talk, just like what we're doing right now. There's
Right.
a lot of people going through some stuff, but they don't get a chance to talk about it in a safe setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
that's my passion of mine. It's just because since I love to talk, I want to get people together and we just talk. Just what's on your mind. It got to be a safe environment. Sometimes the church is not the best for those of us that use certain words. Like me, I'm guilty. You don't need to be in the church. I ain't. You'll pray my strength. God knows my heart, but sometimes raising 3 kids, certain words ain't gonna work.
Right.
So, but yeah, it don't need to be in the church. I think it needs to be in another type of environment where you feel free to talk. Sometimes in the church, you're not gonna feel free to really
Right.
say it the way you really need to say it.
That's true. That's
Right.
true.
That's true. Well, we thank you. Oh, someone tapped in. Let's see. Just Rick says, "Hey Pepper, Eric checking in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hey Michael, long time no see. Thank
What's
you.
up, Rick?
Okay.
Thank you,
Just
Justin.
Rick. My
So
man.
we thank you again, Reggie, for stopping by, as we said before. And the door is always open.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah. Definitely. I appreciate you guys. I love talking to y'all.
Yeah, we love talking to you. That's why we invite you back.
Y'all got such great just the way you guys the questions it just feel like it's like opening up your sinuses. You just lead me in that great direction. It's like, wow. Even Mark started all this mess with that first question.
Well, I had to give you a good one because I know Pepper was gonna come behind with the
I did
you
this
know.
time. He
That's
didn't.
all I'm
He
gonna say.
didn't,
That's all
he
I'm
didn't
gonna say.
shed a tear. He didn't shed a tear.
No, I ain't messing with you.
So when is the documentary that they're working on? When is that coming out? Is that still in the works?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
I got to get you the video. I haven't sent you the video, so I will send you the video.
oh, you can. I don't know if it's gonna make it now because these guys are basically done.
She didn't send the video.
Nah, she never sent it, but you still can. Let's see. Send it to me. And
Okay, thank you.
you have it on that specific part.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be nice because I'm talking about my parents, right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do this. See if we can do that.
Okay.
The teaser, the trailer is coming out, I think, end of March, and
Okay.
since May is my birthday, I told them I want to come out in May. So
Okay.
people are going to be really shocked that Reggie Parker got a documentary. So
It's gonna be hot. Yeah, it's gonna be hot.
I'm speaking a lot of truth in here. It's my documentary, and so I'm being me. If nobody don't like that, don't watch it. They ask me a question, I'm answering the question. So it is. It's good. You'll see a different side of me. A lot of people don't, get to see. How often do you get asked to somebody shoot your own documentary? That's amazing, man. I started to think about my life, and I said, wow, I've never realized I had so much information to share. So much interesting stories from the songs that we recorded behind the scenes. People would never know how I came up with this line, that line. And you know that the greatest part about the whole documentary is that I get to use my own music.
Oh, nice.
I have my own documentary music, my own soundtrack to my whole life. So I don't have to, you know, license anybody's music. That's a beautiful thing, because you can't have a documentary on a musician and not have music. You know, so it made me really feel good. It's about, you know, my life that, you know, give me peace and no regrets.
Yeah.
And those that watch it, you know, watch it. I'm not begging anybody to watch it, but those that watch it, those that are deep thinkers, because nowadays a lot of people are so shallow in their thinking. They just stay in the knee, the foot, the part of the pool that just really gets to your knee. That's it. You know, you got to get past that point and go out to the deep part that at least come up here and makes you, challenges you. People are not being challenged anymore. That's why music stinks, because the people aren't being challenged to create. When I played on my Rep Brown Clark's Breaking a Day, when I did that record, the great Stephen Ford was the producer. It was me and Jeff Lo Davis. He said, I'm going to lunch. And Reggie Parker, when I get back, I need a Hezekiah Walker groove that you're known for this song as the intro, and it's going to be for the drive. When I get back, I need to hear it. No smiling. He was dead serious. He came back in like 30 minutes, and thank God I had something. And that's what's on the record. I had to create on the spot. I didn't have 3 weeks. I didn't have a month. I had 30 minutes. So that's what I'm trying to tell you about preparing yourself for your moment. Preparing yourself to staring at your social media, you ain't preparing for nothing. You preparing to be like that brother Mark was talking about, they got exposed. You don't want to get exposed. You want to be exposed to the point where they saying, yo, this guy is amazing. Not the other way around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go.
Well, thank you, Reggie. Michael, who's coming up next?
Well, we have on March 4th, she's a songwriter out of Philadelphia and a teacher. Her name is Jackie Cordery. And on March 25th, we have a very interesting story. Mark, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Now, we're going to let you introduce him, man. Did you introduce him?
Yeah. Well, his name is Daryl Davis. And Daryl is a pianist, but he also is a gentleman that infiltrated the KKK. And some of the story I read on him, that he has at least 20 robes or more that were turned into him, and he has them at his house.
Wow.
That he converted them, and they have accepted Christ as their Lord and Savior.
I hope he wears the KKK robes while he's on the pulpit.
No.
Oh,
he a brother. Daryl Davis is a brother. He was a brother. Remember the movie about the guy who infiltrated the KKK?
Oh,
yeah, that's Daryl Davis, the brother. Yeah, he's a brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
A lot of people got interesting stories if they could just talk about it. A lot of people got some interesting things to share.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes,
Not
sir.
all good, but interesting.
Well, we thank you again, everyone. This is Four Corners of Pepper Thomas, along with Michael Upshaw and Mark A. Walker, and our guest, Mr. Reggie Parker. We will see you guys next week, next Tuesday. Please join us. And
I'm not from New York. I'm from
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Love you guys. Thanks.
Love you.
Hey, I want one of those sweaters, Reggie.
Go to RalphLauren.com, brother. Pull out that card.
If you want that inspirational, turn your radios. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corners Show. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corners Show. If you want that the Four Corner Show. Relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show.
You gotta sit back,
relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that inspirational, then turn your radios